Apple's iPhone isn't just a product. It's a cultural force that has repeatedly reshaped technology and daily life. This countdown spotlights the 5 best-selling iPhones ever, revealing how each model set new industry standards and captured global imaginations. At number 5, the iPhone 11 proved that perfect pricing can ignite massive demand. At number 4, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus ushered in water resistance and portrait photography, while boldly killing the headphone jack. At number 3, the iPhone 5S made fingerprint security mainstream with Touch ID and a 64-bit processor. At number 2, the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus turned subtle S-cycle upgrades like 3D touch and live photos into a blockbuster. And at first, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus triggered a size revolution, smashing records with over 222 million units sold. But the story doesn't end with past triumphs. Apple's latest flagship, the iPhone 17, is showing softer early sales, weighed down by innovation fatigue, premium pricing, and fierce Android competition. Together, these first-line insights trace Apple's arc from record-breaking hits to today's market test, setting the stage for whether the company can once again surprise the world. Launched in September 2019, the iPhone 11 proved that smart pricing can be just as revolutionary as flashy tech. Apple surprised the market by setting its starting price at $699, a notable cut from the iPhone XR's launch price, and that decision instantly broadened its appeal. By combining flagship power with a friendlier price tag, the iPhone 11 went on to sell an estimated 159.2 million units, securing its place among Apple's all-time greats. The phone's feature list helped seal the deal. A new dual-camera system with an ultra-wide lens let users capture expansive shots and group scenes with ease. Computational photography features like night mode and deep fusion dramatically improved low-light photos, tackling one of the iPhone's lingering weaknesses. Under the hood, the A13 Bionic chip delivered a significant leap in speed and energy efficiency, keeping the phone fast and relevant for years. Industry watchers quickly recognized that Apple had cracked the value formula. As one TechCrunch analyst put it, the iPhone 11's success wasn't just about the camera. It was about Apple finally getting the pricing right on a flagship phone. With the 11, Apple proved that a carefully balanced mix of top-tier performance and accessible pricing could create a blockbuster. No gimmicks required. Released in September 2016, the iPhone 7 series sold an estimated 159.9 million units, marking a pivotal turning point for Apple. It was the first iPhone to feature true water and dust resistance, IP67, finally delivering on years of customer requests and making accidental spills far less stressful. The iPhone 7 Plus also changed smartphone photography with its dual camera system and telephoto lens, which introduced portrait mode for striking DSLR-style background blur. This single feature helped drive millions of customers to the larger model. Apple used the 7 series to reimagine familiar elements. The solid-state home button offered haptic feedback instead of a physical click, increasing durability and previewing the eventual move to gesture-based navigation. And in a bold, headline-making decision, Apple removed the 3.5mm headphone jack, a controversial step that nevertheless accelerated the global shift toward wireless earbuds and AirPods. By blending long-awaited improvements with daring design bets, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus closed one chapter of iPhone history and opened another, earning their spot as one of Apple's best-selling generations ever. Launched in September 2013, the iPhone 5S went on to sell about 164.5 million units, reshaping what people expected from smartphone security and performance. Its headline feature was Touch ID, a fingerprint sensor built directly into the home button. For the first time, Users could unlock their phones or authorize App Store purchases with a quick touch. No passcodes required. This seamless blend of hardware and software set a new industry benchmark for convenience and safety. Under the hood, the 5S introduced the A7 chip, the world's first 64-bit processor in a smartphone. This leap doubled performance and ensured that iOS could support far more advanced apps in the future, giving Apple a competitive edge that rivals scrambled to match. The phone also arrived in striking new finishes, space gray and gold, that fueled consumer excitement and gave the device an extra dose of style. By combining biometric security with groundbreaking processing power and elegant design choices, the iPhone 5S didn't just sell in record numbers. It changed the trajectory of mobile technology and how users interact with their devices every day. Released in September 2015, the iPhone 6s line quickly became a blockbuster, selling an estimated 174.1 million units. Rather than a flashy redesign, Apple focused on deep, meaningful upgrades that redefined how people interacted with their phones. The star innovation was 3D Touch, a pressure-sensitive display that let users press lightly or firmly to unlock hidden menus and shortcuts. This subtle but powerful interaction set a new standard for smartphone navigation. Another crowd-pleaser was Live Photos, which turned every picture into a tiny moving memory by capturing a few seconds of video before and after the shutter click, an irresistible feature for social sharing. Apple also answered durability concerns from the previous model by crafting the 6S with 7000 series aluminum, virtually ending the bend-gate controversy. And the camera jumped to a 12-megapixel sensor with 4K video, cementing the iPhone's lead in mobile photography. By combining thoughtful hardware strength with creative new ways to capture and experience moments, the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus transformed an incremental S upgrade into one of Apple's most beloved and best-selling generations.
When Apple unveiled the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus in September 2014, it unleashed a wave of demand unlike anything the smartphone industry had ever seen. The numbers remain jaw-dropping. Around 222.4 million units sold worldwide, making this the best-selling iPhone generation of all time. The magic formula was a bold, grand redesign. After years of sticking to a 4-inch display, Apple finally embraced larger screens, 4.7 inches on the iPhone 6 and 5.5 inches on the 6 Plus, meeting pent-up demand from users who had flocked to Android for more screen real estate. The 6 Plus in particular opened a lucrative new phablet market, perfect for video streaming, gaming, and reading. Apple also built in NFC technology, launching Apple Pay and letting millions securely replace their wallets with their phones. And the scale of the launch was historic. Over 4 million pre-orders in the first 24 hours, followed by record-breaking weekend sales, made headlines around the globe. By combining a long-awaited bigger screen with seamless mobile payments and impeccable timing, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus didn't just top sales charts. They redefined what a flagship smartphone could be, setting a record that, even a decade later, still stands unmatched. Fast forward to Apple's latest flagship, and the story grows more complicated. Early pre-order data for September 2025 tells a sobering tale. While the iPhone 17 lineup still moves millions of units, respected analyst Ming-Chi Kuo estimates first weekend pre-orders are down roughly 12.7% year-over-year compared to the iPhone 16. For a brand accustomed to breaking its own records, that slip signals cooling excitement. A key wildcard is the new ultra-thin iPhone Air, Apple's fashion-forward gamble.
Its strikingly slim design and premium cachet have created a splash on social media, but early demand shows it appealing to a narrow niche rather than the mass market Apple usually counts on. There's an added twist. Each Air sold may be cannibalizing sales of the standard iPhone 17, which sits close in price but without the design drama. Even more telling is a slump at the top end. The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, traditionally Apple's profit engines, are seeing their share of total orders shrink for a second straight generation. Consumers appear increasingly willing to settle for the base and Plus models, which deliver most core features at a friendlier price. Taken together, these early signals portray a launch that is impressive by ordinary standards, yet worrisome for a company measured against its own blockbuster past. The iPhone 17 remains a commercial force, but its uneven demand profile hints at shifting consumer priorities and at the limits of incremental upgrades in sustaining Apple's once unstoppable sales momentum.
Digging deeper into the iPhone 17's uneven debut reveals several overlapping pressures.
First is innovation fatigue. Yes, the base model finally gets a silky ProMotion display and a sharp 48-megapixel camera. But many buyers shrug at these as long overdue catch-ups rather than headline breakthroughs. As one Canalys market analyst put it, the iPhone 17 launch, while technically impressive, lacks a single must-have innovation that forces a mass upgrade cycle. The market is saturated, and consumers are no longer upgrading for incremental improvements. Price is the next hurdle. Apple held the base iPhone 17's starting price steady, but raised prices on the Pro and Pro Max tiers and positioned the ultra-thin iPhone Air as a high-fashion premium device. For households already stretched by inflation and higher interest rates, the math is tough. A tech journalist summed it up bluntly. Apple's decision to launch the iPhone Air is a bold move to create a new category, but it may just confuse consumers who are already weighing the Pro versus non-Pro decision. Competition compounds the challenge. Android rivals have been shipping 120Hz displays, lightning-fast charging, and multi-lens camera arrays for years, often at lower prices. What once set Apple apart now feels like table stakes, eroding the iPhone's traditional must-have status. Finally, real-time demand signals hint at a softer appetite. Ming-Chi Kuo noted that delivery times are shorter than for the iPhone 15 launch, which he reads as a sign of weaker than expected demand rather than purely smoother logistics. Put together, these factors explain why Apple's newest flagship is selling respectably but not spectacularly. The iPhone 17 simply hasn't given the mass market a reason to rush out and upgrade. The 5 best-selling iPhones in history shared a common thread. They each delivered a single transformative leap, from Touch ID and 64-bit chips to bigger screens and dual cameras, that instantly created a must-have urgency. Those devices didn't just add features, they changed how people used their phones. And that shock of the new powered record-breaking sales. By contrast, the iPhone 17's early performance signals a very different era. Despite technical polish, its upgrades feel like feature parity with competitors rather than a bold new frontier. Premium pricing on top-tier and Air models, coupled with global economic jitters, only sharpens consumer hesitation. In a saturated market, Apple must either unveil a truly revolutionary product or invent fresh ways to spark mass upgrades, whether through unexpected services, deeper AI integration, or entirely new hardware categories. The iPhone became iconic by surprising and delighting the world. Its future success depends on whether Apple can once again deliver that rare sense of wonder and make people say, "I can't believe what they just did."